If you want to know how the Kosas Foundation compares to the new RMS Foundation, watch this. Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Britt, creator of the Style Shaker, a guide to cleaner, greener, better for you beauty, skincare, and beyond. I try these products out so you can find your fewer better, so you know what to buy and what not to buy. So last week I reviewed the RMS Liquid Foundation, their new foundation. I have a first impression, I have an in-depth comprehensive review for this product. And then I also have one for Kosas. I also received a lot of comments on how this compares to other foundations, specifically the Fit Glow Foundation, the new one, and then the Kosas Foundation, amongst a couple more. So today I'm just going to do a side-by-side comparison, apply it on my face, and get ready at the same time. And I'm going to walk you through the main differences. This is an honest comparison. I'm not being paid to say any of the following. If you like that kind of thing and you want to keep seeing more of these types of reviews, do this. Scorecard information, links to all the things that I mentioned are going to be in the description box below. Let's dive into comparing these two products. A little battle. I'm going to apply the Say Sun Visor. I love this. I use this all the time. I also prepped with the True Botanicals Radiance Oil. I'm almost out of that. Actually, I have a review on that on the site, but I do like to apply some kind of prep. My face always gets really red after I touch it, especially because I did an AHA mask, so it happens, don't worry. They both are about a fluid ounce. Kosas is definitely 1 fluid ounce. RMS is about, it's 0.98 fluid ounces. It's almost there. Kosas is $42. The RMS Beauty is $48, so this is a little bit more expensive. Plastic packaging with refills. Kosas is glass. This you cannot probably recycle. And the pump, so that's the packaging comparison. Neither one stands on top for me. I love refills, but it's still plastic, even though it's less plastic. Whatever. 36 shades for Kosas, 16 for RMS. So here's what I found with the RMS. Instead of using a sponge, I just dab it on the face over moisturized skin. It provides a more natural finish, and then I use the kabuki to blend it in. Really do not need a lot of this foundation. A little bit goes a very long way, and you can see some strong evening out. In terms of formula, they're both skincare meets makeup. Kosas has SPF 25 already in it. I don't depend on SPF in products to give me a full sunscreen base, especially in the summer months when I'm out in the sun. But I'm not mad at it. I like having it in there. Niacinamide is also in Kosas. Squalane is in both. There are different types of undecaying, tridecane. Personally, I think my skin doesn't like that, but that is personal. It is very different for every person. So check out the full ingredients. Also, Kosas has hyaluronic acid as well for plumping. Already you can see some really great coverage coming with this. This is shade 22.5, by the way. A little on my forehead. And yes, I'm gonna walk around with different foundations on my face all day. Yay, I really like to buff this in. I found when I used the sponge here, actually I'll get to that in a second. RMS doesn't have any of the undecayings, doesn't have silicone. Both have coconut oil derived esters. So check that out. I've talked about it in the past. If your skin is completely intolerant to coconut oil, I'm not sure if that's gonna irritate you, but it's not like putting coconut oil on your face, although they are in there. Titanol is a new thing for RMS. Adaptogenic herb blend. Again, skincare meets makeup. More familiar sounding skincare items like niacinamide and hyaluronic in the Kosas, and a little bit of a different mix in the RMS. I actually prefer the RMS because that's just, again, personal. I don't need extra skincare in my stuff, although I get the advantage. I also don't like undecaying tridecanes, things like that, but I'm very happy that neither contain silicones, which also upset my skin. But yes, let's go into the application now for Kosas. You've seen the application and I talked about it for RMS. It's a little bit trickier for me. If I use a sponge, I get very strong coverage, but it doesn't look natural. So let's apply the Kosas, and I'm just doing one layer. A little bit tackier to the touch, but in a way that I personally like. It's very moisturizing, and I like to use the sponge with Kosas. Very easy to apply. That's pretty much it for application. I want to get right to coverage. You can see both evened out really well. I feel like I can build up the Kosas better than I can the RMS. The RMS starts to look a little too heavy and separates, and there's really close up, there's texture. From far away, it's beautiful. So I don't like building up the RMS, but I feel like I can build up the Kosas. I'm gonna do right now. I like to do it right here where there's more redness bouncing off the skin. Comparison on finishes where finish and wear tests are primarily where I see the main differentiators in a product like this, because if you're looking at it right now, you can't I don't know if you can see much of a difference, right? You're like, why would I spend on one versus the other? Ingredients are huge, of course. That's gonna be the first deal breaker if your skin can't tolerate it. Price is obviously very important. And shades, those things can either make or break it from that first layer. But when you dive into the performance of a product, this is what I find. It either makes or breaks itself if it stays true to coverage claims on finish and wear test for me, because a lot of the coverage I see follows through on the claim. It's not super wimpy. Touch test, Kosas is a little bit more tacky. It's a little bit more of a glow. So it gives a little bit more of that dewiness, which if you don't like that, don't wear a lot of prep underneath. You can add powders to diffuse and kind of just blur a little bit, which is also really fun to do. The RMS finish is more velvet. A little bit dewier on the Kosas, a little bit more velvet on the RMS. Depending on the finish you like, that's gonna kind of help you determine, I think, which one's gonna work better for you. So in terms of the wear test, from both scorecards, and I'm gonna wear these all day and follow up with another wear test just here in natural light so you can see it. Both were okay when it came to wear tests. For me, I really do lean more towards a natural kind of skin looks like skin look. RMS claims to provide that, but doesn't really get there for me unless I use very little of it, which is not a bad thing. I really liked that. But if I used the sponge, you could see separating, you could see sitting on top of skin. Coverage was incredible. For Kosas, I would say the coverage wasn't as good as the RMS Beauty, but again, I will show you in a video today at the end of the day. However, the finish held up a little bit better than RMS, right? It's like all those little things. When I first tried Kosas, I remember feeling a little bit of something going on, like a little bit of irritation. So we'll see if that happens again. I think that was because of the Undecane or Tridecane, one of the candy canes. This is the RMS eyeshadow. Useless Eyelights cream shadow. Also testing, everything's lavender. Hi, can you tell one of my favorite colors? This is the Ilia matte shadows. I got them. Ooh. Yeah, the Kosas I remember being something was a little off in terms of irritation on the skin, and the dewiness factor kind of got to me. The Titanal or whatever it was in the RMS, it got to me too. It felt a little tightening. So that's why I really preferred having a light layer, like a pea-size amount, really buffed into the skin. And I didn't have as much of that reaction or drying feeling. And that coverage is just so good. The Kosas is too. Both shades, by the way. So in the Kosas I have medium 200. Took me a hot minute to get to that, but I finally figured it out. I would say I selected two that skew a little bit yellow for my taste. In the RMS I have 22.5. I probably could do great with the 22 because it's spring summer and my skin has a little bit more color on it. It's fine. Plus I use so little that I can blend it out and mix it with other products. Both work really well. Under and over products, I'm applying powder products on top here. I've applied cream concealer, the Rose Ink concealers on my face. No major issues. I would say, if anything, the RMS, you have to zhuzh a little bit more, especially with concealer or a setting powder. It feels more like makeup to me. They're both makeup. I know that seems like a weird thing to say, but you know what I mean? It just feels more like I'm wearing makeup. This is the Lip Bar bronzer. Still using it. Still loving it. So yeah, with shades, I think if you're using the RMS, stick to what you're already using. That's what I would have done. I think that should work for you. They do all have shade finders. Really a limitless lash. This is a combination I've been loving, but I can't keep doing because Bite Beauty is going out of business. Sad. I think I'll probably show you at the beginning of the day how this finish looks now too. So I'm gonna cue that video right now. Post-production, let's roll it. All right, we have natural light here, and now you can see a close-up. So here we have the RMS and the Kosas. Hopefully that gives you a sense that this one's a little bit more dewy. It's actually grabbing onto the other products, like the bronzer looks a little darker. Although there's not as much lighting on this side of the camera, so don't let that confuse you. But it does grab on a little bit, the pigments hold on, and then this is a little bit more velvety, matte-ish in terms of finish, beginning of the day. So I'll get back to you on the wear tests for the end of the day soon. Back to the video. So there you have it. You can see what they both look like in sunlight because it's very different from studio lighting. In terms of scorecard scoring for each of these, since I've already done these reviews, they were close. They were pretty similar. The Kosas received a 16 out of 20. The RMS received a 15 out of 20, so it went down by 1. I'm telling you, mascara really makes such a difference, right? It's like, hi, I have eyes. Finishing it off with 100% pure lipstick, one of my faves. Add a little life to the mix. You could use that as blush, you could put it on top of the eyeshadow, you could do whatever. So this is the completed look. I have Kosas on this side of my face. I have RMS on this side of my face. You've seen the close-ups at the beginning of the day. I'm gonna show you what these look like after about 8 hours, so that's gonna come up now. End of day wear test. So this has been on my face now since over 8 hours. We're talking about 9 hours at this point. Kosas is on this side, RMS is on this side. Let's do some close-ups. First, we'll try RMS. All right, so on RMS, I'm seeing a little bit of gathering here. I'm seeing decent coverage for both. RMS might win a little bit on coverage at this point. I think if I built it up, it would win on coverage in terms of evening out. There's a little bit of separation. There's a little bit of dryness, even though I didn't use a lot. So now we're gonna look at Kosas. The touch test, it dried off. It's not as tacky. But it doesn't feel dry. I would say the finish looks more natural. The dewiness is there. I could say that Kosas feels better by the end of the day. Better finish, but coverage I think is going to go to RMS. However, when you look up close, it looks like I'm wearing something. So let's get back to the video. That is the side-by-side comparison of the two. Let me know what you think. Which one are you leaning towards? It's hard to say one is better than the other because they offer such different things outside of the same coverage, and they're very close in price point. Basically, I just want this video to help you make a better decision on foundations because I know it can be tricky. So if you found it to be helpful and you made a decision, or you're closer to it at least, then like I said earlier, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and you'll never miss another video over here. If you would like to see the Fit Glow Foundation versus RMS, then let me know in the comments and I can pull that together. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you right back here real soon. Until then, bye.